Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello there. Welcome to episode 92 of 15 Minutes of Genius. We bring on amazing guests that have started their own companies, entrepreneurs, investors, advisors, consultants, and people that wrap trucks. And that's this gentleman here. Before introducing him, big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N. at HaddenBeatStudios.net. He is our producer, our man, the captain of the ship, and you have someone that's texting behind you, but she's definitely honored to be on camera as well. It's like these millennials, right? These Gen Zers that are always on their phones, right? Even when the camera's on them. They're too good for the camera. I'm just kidding, Rachel. All right, so without any further introduction, without further ado, our guest is Neal Pecchenino. He is the founder and president of Boxi, headquartered LA, California. I actually, just a really quick story, as I actually met you for the first time 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
And we found out that, number one, we're in the same industry. We have a mutual friend, which is Mike Manahan. Shout out to Mike Manahan. We both love to golf.
We do.
Even though I'm terrible. That's the only difference.
I don't know if I'm terrible. I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work to be as terrible as me. We both recently bought golf clubs, and we picked the same ones, which is the Mizunos, and a lot of other similarities.
Yes,
so,
a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
You don't usually have phone calls like that. That was a really fun intro call.
Definitely. Definitely.
It went for an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
We covered everything.
Totally, man. Totally. Definitely synced. Hard to find people like that, and it's obviously valuable friendship, valuable connection. So super grateful, man.
And thanks for having me on. This is a pleasure. So,
absolutely, yeah. So let's get into your story.
Absolutely.
We can talk about us later.
Sure.
So I want to get into Boxi. Amazing company.
Thank you.
You're working with great brands like GTs, Liquid Death, and many, many more. Tell us the concept behind this, wrap trucks, because, you know, which camera? This one here? This one? There we go. So again, and one thing just to say here is that rarely have guests that are actually in the studio. Usually it's through virtual. So I'm still learning. There's 3 cameras here.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah.
I like this is the real deal.
It is, man. It's we don't mess around here.
Whoever was listening or watching, this is a setup. This is pretty cool. If you get the opportunity to do this, you got to do it in person.
Definitely, man. Come on in. You know,
this is not a Zoom call.
This is not a Zoom call. Exact hashtag. Not a Zoom call.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. So let's get into it. Let's talk about your brand, your company, what you guys are doing, what you're up to. Tell us more.
Absolutely. So I started Boxi. It's 4 years ago now. It's pretty crazy how fast things go. I had absolutely no interest in being in media in general. I was actually in consumer electronics. I was running a company called Ditto. It was a little consumer electronic wearable device that sold all over the country in Targets and Best Buys and Walmarts. And at our peak, we were spending around $50,000 a month on digital advertising. And it didn't feel good. I didn't enjoy logging in every morning and looking at a dashboard from Facebook and seeing the millions of impressions, but not seeing the sell-through that you would expect from those types of impressions. We were trying to, quote, build the brand online, and it didn't feel right. Right around that time, I was looking into all forms of brand building. Everything from billboards to buses to you name any form of out-of-home, I got quotes on it, and it was just incredibly expensive. And I always knew billboards were expensive, but not until you get a quote for a billboard on La Brea that has a homeless encampment below it and is half blocked by a tree and find out that it's a $30,000 a month billboard, do you realize, oh my God, I can't afford this. This is not, to play in that level, it's just a completely different level. So right around the same time, I lived in Santa Monica, and I kept seeing blank trucks in my neighborhood. And I started asking the question, like, why can't we build brand advertising campaigns with these blank trucks I see driving around? I kept seeing the same truck every day in my neighborhood, so clearly that truck had a route. Asking questions like any good entrepreneur does, and then not just asking them, but then actually going out and answering the questions. I found out that there's no reason why you can't actually build brand advertising campaigns with localized delivery trucks. It's just hard to do so, and there's really nobody out there that's doing it or doing it well. Mm-hmm. There were other companies that were trying to do it. They've been around for quite a while, but not very good. Not brands that you would trust, not companies you would trust your brand with. You know, it's extremely expensive, and look how hard you've worked to get Genius to where it is. I mean, you aren't going to trust just anybody with your brand. So I saw an incredible opportunity. I saved up some money, and I literally put it all on the line to get the business started. And within 6 months, I'd gotten the business going and landed a couple really big accounts early on, including Santa Monica Brewworks was my very first account. And then,
Shout out
Santa Monica Brewworks. Scott, guys, I love you. And then literally no more than a week later, I was able to get Jamie Siminoff of Ring, the founder of Ring, to meet with me. Big, long story there. I could get into it if we want to, but got him to meet with me. And, yeah, I got him to sign up for a 10-truck, 6-month campaign that bought me the runway. I was basically out of money. I spent my own money to get this thing going. I was almost out of money, and he signed off on it. And that Ring campaign bought me enough runway to get the business really figured out, and landed a bunch of new accounts from there. And yeah, just it's fast forward, boom, 4 years later, we're the biggest in the country doing what we do.
Wow.
By a huge margin. We have around, at any given point, I think today it's like 350 plus trucks on the road nationwide on campaigns, and we're actively launching around 150 over the next 35, 45 days. That's what we do, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I love the brands that we work with. I never thought I'd be in. Now we're really in the beverage space. This is our space. We advertise with a lot of beverage clients. It's a really fun category to be in, and lots of cool new things, lots of energy. I mean, what you're doing is fantastic, and
thanks, man.
I can't wait to work together on something.
Absolutely. We need to get a chain-wide national launch somewhere where someone can just see the advertisement and go right to their local store and get it. But it's really cool that you found a niche, right? You found something that you saw a blank truck, you knew that it was something that was needed, that was missing. You missed one thing on these billboards half the time. You talked about the tree, you talked about in the wrong location.
That's right.
Or it's graffitied.
Yeah.
That's the last one that I've noticed. So it's just an awesome way to get the word out. And it's also mobile on top of that. So you're getting multiple touch points. I remember before meeting you, I would see like the Liquid Death one, because they're running a major campaign with their launch, nationally in 7-Eleven.
That's right.
I'm just like, shit, man. Like how much product are they moving? Because the truck,
that's right.
I assumed that the truck had Liquid Death inside, and I saw like 3 in one day. And then even the day that we were talking, literally on the phone, I was on my way through LAX.
Yes.
And then you were telling me something like, you'll probably see a truck on the way to Venice through LAX. And lo and behold, like 40 minutes into our call, I took a picture at a stoplight. Yeah. Electrolit, Boxi truck right near LAX. So it's like, you got great coverage, man.
Thank you. If you go anywhere in Southern California, you're going to see our trucks. I mean, really, we're nationwide at this point. In every major metro, you're seeing our trucks every day, whether you realize that it's a Boxi truck or not. They're actually advertisements. The trucks are not actually moving the product that's on it. Yeah. Perception is reality, though. And in advertising, if what you see is what you believe, and it's true.
And the trucks are moving some kind of product.
Oh yeah. No, they're critical pieces to the fabric of everything that happens and moves around. I mean, all the products that we use on a daily basis are moved around in our trucks. Everything from residential deliveries to business deliveries to air freight to critical supplies for whatever industries. I mean, everything moves around in these box trucks. So yeah, it's a pretty cool space. But it was great timing that you saw the truck.
I know, man.
While we're on the call.
I know, man. It's
good.
I was probably in the heart of where a lot of these trucks kind of cycle through.
Oh, yeah.
And, once we do a campaign, because I know we'll be working together, just knowing where your customers are, like for us, at least for us, it's West Side, South Bay, Century City area, and I know your trucks. And it's cool because you can actually tell us more about the program, right, for a customer. You can customize where the trucks go, the routes, the number of hours. Tell us more about that.
Exactly. So instead of trying to fit the truck into your box or you into the truck's box, basically we have an incredible network of trucks that we've been working with for many years now. We're 4 years into this, so all the kinks have really been worked out. But basically we have a ton of data on all the trucks. We run tracking on all the trucks 24 hours a day. And we build basically a baseline of where those trucks cover. So we can pull up a map and show you, here's where the trucks go. Here's where they are, 6-7 days a week. Here's where they trend. Here they're in Santa Monica 3 to 4 days a week. They're in West Hollywood the other days of the week. And basically where your campaign is targeted, the areas where you have distribution, we can build campaigns with trucks that are servicing those areas. We can do it in every major metro around the U.S. And by the way, I'll be the first to tell you if we can't hit it. If we can't put a truck in an area where you have great distribution, I don't want your marketing dollars because it's not going to work. Even if the truck looks great and people see it, it actually needs to do what it needs to do. But 3 steps beyond that, before I started the company, I knew that if this was going to be successful, entrepreneurs like myself, business owners would need to feel comfortable knowing that their trucks are actually doing what they do. So we have a dashboard that you can log into and see exactly where your trucks are at any given point.
Wow.
You can log in and see where they were today, last week, last month. We even estimate impressions based on where they go and the time of day, and the Department of Transportation street records. We're able to cross-compare and estimate. I mean, it's not a perfect count. There's no such thing as a perfect count. Anyone who claims they have a perfect count of impressions on out of home is frankly full of shit, and you should probably not walk but run away. Anyone claims that they can measure lift or actually provide specifics on ROI on out of home, they're full of shit. Don't listen to them. But what we do is we put the best possible trucks on the road. We take the best trucks on the road that are driving 6 to 7 days a week. They're absolutely beautiful. 1 in 20 trucks that we interview actually get on a campaign. Our vetting is extremely intense. And then we make them look absolutely phenomenal. And then we track it, and then you get ways to look at it. And we do activation. So if you're at an event and you want to promote something, let's say you're doing a tasting, we bring trucks out to events all the time. I was at one 2 days ago. Sometimes I get on a plane and do it just to bring the truck to the client themselves, just because it's fun. Like I said, I really like this. It's a lot of fun. Working with hot new brands is the best part of this.
Exactly. It's really cool too, because the one thing like going through my mind as you're talking about this is brands, like you said it earlier, perception is reality.
It is.
Where brands can look bigger than what they actually are. So a brand like us that's like, sub 10 million in revenue can look like a big national brand when you have these trucks just going round and round and you see it a few times a day. It's a pretty cool service.
That's exactly right. So Jamie Siminoff of Ring, in our very first meeting, and what an awesome guy. And if Jamie ever sees us, thank you.
I'll tag him on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we're still buddies. I email him back and forth every once in a while. But he said in that meeting, he said, "Wow, I love this. This will make us look like $1 billion company overnight."
And now they're $1 billion company.
And 2 months later, they were sold to Amazon for $1 billion. I said, "Wow, it works." Now, that's disclaimer. We cannot guarantee that you will be sold for $1 billion, but perception is reality, especially in advertising. I mean, we ran a massive campaign in year 1 for MedMen, over 50 trucks in Southern California.
Mm-hmm. I saw them everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought I was like high or something. I'm like, am I imagining these trucks everywhere?
You and everyone else in Southern California, and everyone thought the trucks were filled with weed because right on the side it said cannabis. And it was a great campaign because it was super effective. I think it was one of the biggest things that actually put them on the map early on, but it was also the biggest pain in the ass campaign because everyone thought the trucks were filled with weed.
Right. The cops like pulled them over or something?
No, and we didn't have any break-ins, thank God. But when the trucks would go into these neighborhoods in the Pacific Palisades and, hand a very nice family a box, and the neighbors start chatting, why are they having weed delivered? Why are they getting boxes of cannabis delivered? It created serious problems. So we got through it. Great campaign, and loved working with them as well.
Right on. Well, tell us more about you, like what you like to do, right? Because Boxi, I know as an entrepreneur, we spend so much time on this.
Yeah.
In your off time, personal life, what do you like to do? What's your passion there personally?
Yeah, thanks. It's really a pretty boring answer. This is my identity at this point. Like this business.
Guilty as charged myself.
Yeah, I mean the sweatshirt, the hat. You know this. I mean, your work becomes your identity. Yeah. It becomes who you are.
Exactly.
So everywhere I go, everything I do, it really ties back to this. And I think that's the big difference between someone that means what they're doing, like real entrepreneurs, the real passion that's there. I love it, and I can't stop thinking about it. And I've created this little engine, this little thing that works. And it's not little anymore. It's big, and big brands trust us. So about me, I mean, I'm pretty simple. I like this. I like to try and work out every once in a while. I like to eat really good food, sometimes too much. I like to drink. I love nothing better than going out to dinner with clients. Dinner and lunch with clients. We did have a big warehouse party a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
I I wish we had gotten connected previously.
It's like 3 days, 4 days earlier. I would have been there drinking beer with you guys.
We had about 400-something people there. We
Damn.
had people flying from all over the country, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, frankly, a lot of work. I don't know if we're doing that again for at least a few more months. I don't know. I want to do it again.
Yeah, depends on the environment too and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
how about you?
It could be an open warehouse, right?
What's up with you?
Yeah, man. I really vibe with you on this, right? This show is about just being real and telling it like it is, and I think about Genius all the time.
Yeah.
It is my identity. I mean, it's my fucking head on the bottle, you know. So it's also kind of Einstein too, but the main thing is I think about it a lot, and it's hard to divide the two. And anyone that tells you that there's a work-life balance,
no,
it does not exist.
It's a joke.
It's a joke. When you're in your personal time, you're thinking about business.
Yeah.
When you're in your business time, you're thinking about business.
Yeah.
So I really try to etch in some personal things. And I learned that doing like physical activities, whether it's running, whether it's golf, whether it's badminton, I like to play badminton, it gets your mind off business because you're in the moment. But then, like, it's funny, once you do the drive or once I finish a game, it starts creeping back in.
Right back into it.
And then there's someone there. I'm like, oh, maybe I can network with this person, right? Especially at a golf course.
Half the time I'm playing golf with people that I work with. So
yeah, it's going to be business.
Or I'm eating or drinking with people that I work with in some form. And actually, that's the perfect round. Like, that's the perfect way to spend time.
Totally. You're relaxed.
It feels productive, too. I like traveling with business. I don't really like to just travel and just go screw around. I really like to go places and at least make it productive in some way.
Love it.
Yeah,
it's really funny because we're talking about traveling. We're talking about going out. I met a guy on a golf course that literally he was in his 20s. He just graduated college and he had I think he still has it, a major in philosophy. And I asked him, "What do you want to do?" And his answer was, "I'm still thinking about it."
Oh, yeah. Well,
like
he's probably still thinking about it.
Exactly. Yeah, they never stop thinking, these philosophy majors. And so I golfed with him a few times, no ulterior motive, just having fun. And then he invited me and he said, I want to introduce you to one of my friends. And his friend pulled in with, I think, like a $300,000 Mercedes or something, and I'm like, whoa, cool. But, just cool guy, down to earth. I come to find out that one of his family members is the CFO of Thrive Market.
Oh, wow.
And Thrive Market, for those that don't know, is becoming one of the largest food and beverage online sites next to Amazon in the world. They have great distribution. They have a lot of brands on there. So it randomly just happened where I connected with someone like playing golf. So it's pretty cool when that happens. But it's cool when you get out there, you kind of get out of, because you said also like going to dinner and visiting people, that when you put the time into the relationships, they grow and you start meeting other people that are connected within that circle. So you're doing all the right things.
I'm having so much more fun today doing what I do than what I was doing before. Just being an entrepreneur forces you to get out and meet a lot of people.
Exactly.
Interesting people. It gives you the best excuse to pick up the phone and call someone. And even if it's completely unrelated to what they do, they'll probably listen to you. They'll probably hear you out. Granted, there's a big difference between legitimate entrepreneurs and the guy that sits in the coffee shop for months on end on their MacBook and kind of screws around. That's not the entrepreneur I'm talking about. It's the guy or gal that gets in and actually fucking does stuff every day and like works towards a goal and holds himself accountable and sets expectations and then actually delivers on those expectations. That entrepreneur is unstoppable, and it's infectious. It gets into people and it inspires others, and it's a cool thing. I actually go back and all my employees I find at USC. I went to USC. Never thought I'd be able to afford and hire USC people, but I go back and speak in my old entrepreneurship classes. It's one of the few things I'm really passionate about. I think it can cure a lot of the problems in our world today, and I find all my talent there. So it's cool.
It's good that you're giving back to the community, man. And one thing that I think a lot of entrepreneurs miss, which you do not miss, and I don't miss it either, I don't overlook it is a better word, is really giving back in some ways and helping others, whether it's someone that's less fortunate, that's just starting their business. I thrive on giving advice.
Agreed.
Sometimes I'm a little too brutally truthful.
I am too.
But that's the best way because in the long run,
they need it.
It's going to help them. But giving back, giving to people, providing advice, you get so much in return, not only feeling better,
Oh yeah,
but also like karmically something does come back.
oh, I'm a big believer in it.
Big time. Big time.
You put good energy out there, it does find its way back.
Exactly.
I advise a number of companies. I help out. I give perspective, and I'd really like to do something much bigger on the helping side.
What does that look like?
I don't know, and that's a good question, and that's something I think the immediate goals over the next 10 to 20 years is just keep going. Like, go as far as you possibly can with this, and just take it to the furthest possible place it can go. And then I think, you know, I hate to say this, but money solves a lot of problems. And once you have the fuck you money, you can go out and put it to work. And I think that's the goal, is to get to that point. And then, you know, no offense to the kids at USC, but they don't need help. They're going to be just fine. So that's not really my idea of giving back. I go back because I love being tied in with my my alma mater, but doing something within, you know, the broader community and helping inspire. I really think one of the biggest things missing in schools today, like K through 12, is entrepreneurship. You don't learn a damn thing about what it means to own a business, to run a business. You don't know anything graduating high school, and you know, not everyone needs college. And I think a lot of people can go out and be really successful right out of school. They really need to start teaching it at an early age, and there needs to be a curriculum built out by entrepreneurs for the future of entrepreneurs. I'm not saying that I'm the person to do that, but that it does need to exist out there, and I'm pretty into it.
Exactly. I think I put my mic to the side when I was drinking the mocha here. Whenever you're talking, I sneak a sip. You know, when I studied finance in college, right? Nothing against Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, great college experience. I was in the second nerdiest fraternity. I know that's hard to believe. The first nerdiest was the total academic fraternity, where if you're lower than the 4.0, you get hazed.
Oh, jeez.
And then I was in AE Pi, the Jewish fraternity, which was the second best academic fraternity.
Hey, that's a great
on
house.
campus. Oh yeah, they were actually. In Cal Poly, they were banned for 10 years.
Get out of here.
Because someone at a party back in the 90s, I went to school in 2001 to 2005, at a party, someone drunk got hurt.
Oh, jeez.
And so the fraternity council banned them, and then when I went to school there was when they brought it back, and I was the alpha class. So that's my claim to fame. But main point is, I only learned how to do a fucking spreadsheet in college.
Yeah.
A finance spreadsheet, and I still was confused. And what I realize is, when you're passionate about something and it's yours to own and yours to run, and there's no limit, you know, you determine the floor and also the ceiling.
That's right.
That kind of passion is what's going to drive you to learn. And that's the biggest thing I learned about human nature, is that people want to do shit that they love to do.
That's exactly right.
And they're going to learn so much when they love what they're doing. I'm sure. We talked about Tesla, like Elon, personally, but Elon Musk, he probably learned more about cars more than his entire life when he got engaged with Tesla.
Absolutely.
So it's like you you probably know about trucks, you know about wraps, you know about materials, because you love what you do.
I didn't know a damn thing before I got into this.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter, right?
No, it doesn't matter, because you are who you say you are as an entrepreneur, and that's something I tell all these classes when I go back is, you are whoever you say you are. It's how you present yourself. It's the confidence that you bring, and there's a big difference between confidence and arrogance, and that's a fine line that most people don't know how to properly navigate. But at least early on in their careers, as they project. But you are whoever the hell you say you are until you otherwise are proven not. So no, I'm into it. I also think one of the biggest drivers in people is, for myself early on, was fear. Fear of failing, fear of not achieving what you set out to achieve. And I think as an entrepreneur, I'm not the only one that's driven by that. And it's not celebrated enough. Not saying you need to be walking around in fear all day, but there's an element of it, right? You've woken up in the middle of the night a few times, I'm sure, thinking, "Oh shit!"
I don't sleep.
I know. I know.
Yeah, that's a problem. I can't wake up if I don't sleep. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, it's
so, but I totally get it. Like there's I think like one of my board members, right, and like a limiting. He calls it like a limiting factor.
Yeah.
where there's these emotions that come up, and then it owns us, and it becomes a limiting factor.
Yes.
But I think entrepreneurs like yourself use it as a way to propel you.
Correct.
You convert that into positive energy.
Correct.
Where you might be scared about a new contract, getting more trucks, expansion, but you convert that fear to excitement.
Exactly.
Then you act on that, and then you push through and then accomplish it.
Converting everything into energy is what it means to be an entrepreneur. You
Exactly.
gotta take everything inbound and just spin it around and turn it into something positive, because I mean, some days are really, really tough.
Yeah.
And
down days for sure.
And there's no one there to help you. And money doesn't solve all those problems either. And actually, people have always asked me, like, why don't you raise money? And the answer is, well, money isn't going to solve these problems.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just throw money at these problems. You can't just hire more people and expect them to go solve the problems. It doesn't work that way. And that's why I've kind of done things the way I've done them for as long as I have. But no regrets. None
Exactly.
at all.
Yeah, it's about team and the right strategy.
Right.
And we've all seen this, both of us, in, especially in CPG or tech, where you throw a bunch of money at it and expect that to solve it.
Exactly.
It's about the team, the leadership, the vision, the energy, having that positive energy.
That's right.
And also finding a need in the market, which is what you've done, a niche.
It is a need. Brands need to be bigger.
Exactly.
Brands need to get bigger. They need to grow. And we're arguably the best way to do that. To get your brand in front of a lot of people within a specific DMA, Boxi is arguably one of the most cost-effective and effective ways to do it. The trucks will be seen. People will see the trucks. Now, we can't control the creative. We provide a lot of direction on that. What's really fun is when we get artwork back from clients, and the artwork is just stunning.
Yeah,
sometimes
Liquid Deaths is like amazing. Showing the guy with like the fucking, the scythe or whatever, and then he has like
chopped heads
and all that, and their branding is just out of this world.
It's wild, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, when we first got that artwork, we're like, are you fucking serious? Are we doing this? Are we putting this on trucks right now? Like, these go to schools. Like, these deliver at schools, but we figured it out.
Can you imagine, like, a 10-year-old is like, hey, mommy, can I have Liquid Death?
If I were a little kid and I saw that truck, I would want it.
Badass,
so
right?
bad.
Yeah.
And it's just water, so it's fine.
Yeah, there's definitely a good marketing strategy with kids with that, because it looks badass. It's like our generation, it was like He-Man.
Yeah.
Right? Like the big buff guy with like the big thing, and he's gonna like chop someone's head off. And anyway,
no, they've nailed it. They've got a really cool. They're doing really special stuff in the space.
They're amazing. Yeah. So anyway, we're out of time, but awesome having you on.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, we're already at. I think Mark, we're probably already at 25 or 30 minutes, right? 28:10.
Wow.
Yep. It's like just like that. So if anyone wants to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Shoot me an email, Neal@boxi.co, just .co, and that's Neal.
Right on.
Yeah, you can tag it or whatever. But just go to our website, boxi.co, shoot us a note, whatever. And we're pretty easy. We're extremely fast, and yeah, there's really no bullshit. If we can help you, we will. If we can't, we'll be the first to tell you, and we'll point you in the best possible direction. But we're doing a lot of new stuff, so open to anyone and everyone who wants to have a conversation.
Love it.
Thank you. Seriously, this is awesome to be here.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thank you for being on, man. It really means a lot to me. Look forward to doing some golfing once those Mizunos come in.
Soon.
And, and just great service. Now, for those that are in Southern California and also other regions, but especially SoCal, when you see a truck, look at the mud flaps. Chances are you'll see Boxi.co. For a truck that has an advertisement for Electrolit, Liquid Death, GTs, all those guys, and hopefully soon Genius Juice. So, Neal, just a cheers with the Genius Mocha.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for being on, man.
Pleasure.
Enjoy. All right. Oh, man, these are good.
They're awesome.
Still can't get enough of it, which is a good sign for making the product. We had to go through so many renditions to make this, to dial this in. One run, it was too bitter from the coffee.
Really?
One run, it was too chocolatey. One run was too thick. And finally, we got it. This is the first lot I was telling Neal before he came in.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just whole coconut, chocolate, coffee, and pink salt.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is it. It's like the perfect snack. So, so again, Neal Pecchenino founder, president, Boxi.co. We'll have all his information in the comments. Make sure to reach out to him if you're interested. And this has been episode 92 of 15 Minutes of Genius. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcast. And we're also on YouTube. And we're also on LinkedIn. Tuesdays and Fridays, brand new episodes. So again, Neal, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
All right. Take good care.
Thank you.
All right. And that is it. We're out. And oh, yeah, one last thing. And Mark, make sure that his mic is live for this one. We always say stay genius, my friends, at the end of the episode.
Let's do it.
So on 3. 1, 2, 3. Stay genius, my friends.
Thanks. That's all.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.